Two. Right, it's recorded. It says recorded, so we're in. So
We're in.
welcome to my. I've done one of these before. This is my second podcast. I was actually at the start of lockdown. I was planning to do loads of them, but it's now December and I've done one. Right, because the first one I actually done was a guy, an American guy who lives in Europe somewhere, and we had
Yeah.
we had a beer and all that, and recorded about an hour and a half. Then I realised I actually hadn't recorded it, so we had a good chat. Then I realised it'd gone. We just had a chat that nothing was recorded. So anyway,
sorry, I was sorry. I was listening to you, then realising that the reason I couldn't hear you right is I didn't have it set up right. I had you coming out here, but I had this on.
All right.
So sorry. Could you say that again? You went on a guy, you hadn't even recorded it.
Aye, so I done it. One of my mates, it's for the guy for the Edinburgh Festival, and I recorded the whole thing. Well, I didn't. I thought I recorded it. I done about an hour and a half, and after I got it, I says I'll send that to you tomorrow. And the next day I was like, none of that's all disappeared.
Fuck.
And the last one I done was with Jim McCready.
Oh, aye.
And he recorded it because I liked his story, because he does, the non-smoking stuff. I like his mindset. So
yes,
I done that, but he recorded it because he was on a different version of Zoom than me. So he recorded it and sent it to me. So this is the first attempt of me actually recording it, Viv, and it seems to be going well so far.
It's going great.
Right, so I'll introduce you to whoever what I reckon we'll get about 15 people watching this, so it'll be good.
Aye, that'll be a good festival crowd.
Aye, definitely. So Viv, I've known you for how long, Viv? 21 years?
It must be 20 years, 21 years, aye.
Fucking hell, man.
Bloody hell, neither of us have changed.
That exact same Viv, right? So
yep.
I met Viv, right? Viv runs a comedy work. He's done the first comedy workshops in Glasgow 21 years ago.
Yep. It'll be 22 years nearly. 22. Yeah.
Well, so
23 nearly. 23 years and 89, 88, 80.
Was it?
98. 98.
I think I done your second.
99.
I was 99. Yeah. I think I done your second ever one.
You were the one with the Rev, weren't you?
No, I don't think so. You've said that before, but
all right.
Unless he was in it, and I can't remember him because he didn't do the character at that point.
He didn't do the character, but you would have remembered him.
I don't think he was in the class at the time.
Right.
I can't remember, because I remember your first one. I remember more people for your first one that I wasn't in, because more of them kept doing it. There was Des Clark, Des McLean, Ciara Murphy, I think.
Yes,
and Big Grant McManus. I remember them.
Aye, God, good memory.
So I just remember them because they were about for a while. But the one I done with you, the segment, I don't think any of the guys.
I am sure Jim was in your one. I could almost.
You sure?
He used this prop. He was going to pretend to have a pee on stage, and he had a carton of apple juice in his t-shirt, but it burst during the gig, so it looked like that his stomach had just exploded water.
It wasn't mine.
No, you'd remember that.
I remember that. I remember, what I do remember, there's a guy called Donald or something, I remember. And there was an Irish guy.
Was he an older guy?
No, he's about, I think he's about my age, I think.
Right, but, older.
Maybe. Older guy. And I remember.
I'm kidding. Donald. Oh, Donald.
That's the only one I remember.
Yeah, Donald, and he was kind of bald. He drove a taxi, but he was quite funny, quite posh.
Aye.
Yes,
I think he ended up moving to China.
Australia.
Australia, was it? China, Australia. Same
He's a very good friend of Bill and Barry's. You know Bill and Barry, the couple that are always at the Ivory gigs, and their pals Alan Anderson. Aye, he's a good pal of theirs.
Aye.
That's the first time I met them, yeah.
Aye. So I met him years later, and I didn't recognise him, and then he explained. So I remember him. I don't remember anybody else apart from an Irish guy. It was an Irish guy, and no matter what you told him about writing and all that, all he did was come on and tell old jokes. You know.
Oh.
Yeah. So you try to get him to talk about his life, but he'd go, There's two Irish guys walked into it, but it was just after 8 weeks, he would just keep doing the same. I was like, no, that's not.
There's always one do you teach comedy as well now? I mean, you must find that as well, that there's people that they want to come and be funny already and they don't want to learn sometimes.
They've
and
got their way of
it's a fear factor, isn't it? It's like aye.
Oh, definitely, I agree with that. It's like I'm finding well, I've found, like, see, when I've been about for years, when you're used to a set you do, you're used to the material you do, and you know the reaction you get.
Yeah.
You kind of get into a bit of a rut. Well, I find a bit of a rut that writing new material is well out my comfort zone, because I know the stuff that I've got works really well, and it annoys me.
And that's... Sorry, and what I was going to say is, and that's what a lot of new people don't appreciate, is that they'll do a set 5 minutes and then they think, oh, I've done that 5 minutes, I better do another 5 minutes. But what they don't realise is that's when you become the real comedian, when you get it as tight as yours and you redo the same bit. And that's why we are scared of new stuff, because we know it's like this level and everything else is at that level. And so it shows, doesn't it? It's...
because you kind of know, but when you do new stuff, your reaction's going to be down a wee bit until you get it good.
Because you haven't found every single little nuance, have you? That's going to...
So your ego kind of goes, oh, I don't like this, and it's so you need to get out there and dine your hole a bit again. So you need to kind of, right, your stuff that works is good, but then you need to go, right, drop that shit and do it. You through the bad gigs again.
That's what I quite like about MCing, actually, because you can actually slip in some new stuff and try it out. And you can kind of cheat it if it doesn't go well, and then just kind of busk it and talk to the audience. But it's a good way of trying it.
Definitely. I find when I do that, I'll throw wee bits in now and again.
I do that, and you try and remember it.
But it's annoying me, and you end up... I mean, I'm probably quite guilty of not having enough new material over the years. I've got some good material,
but same.
And it annoys me. And I think this year, after not doing a gig for a year, it's kind of gave me a boot up the arse. I've been writing a lot, so I need to get out there and go, right, I'd love to just drop everything I've got, just drop it all and just start again.
I've always thought that as well. And then you kind of think, oh, but then I might not get more gigs, or no, this is my best bit, and you know what I mean? But it's a good idea, because you're not getting rid of it forever. You're just...
If you give yourself like 6 months, right, 6 months, I'm not going to do any of that shit. And it's scary. But
I don't know about you, but when I'm teaching folk, it's not how I teach folk. I teach people like you've got this load of sections, and you could take out a section, put a new bit in, and you've got it sort of sandwiched with stuff and then before you know it, the whole thing's replaced. But you've sandwiched each bit cut until you've replaced it. That's a way to do it.
I think I've gradually done that over the years. There's wee bits. And a lot of my stuff, it's... I write ideas, but then it kind of develops.
You develop it on stage.
And then other bits get added onto it and stuff. You kind of start off with one thing and then it ends up something completely different.
I love that, and that happens when do you find sometimes you're looking through old notepads and you find a joke you forgot you did, or it's like finding money, isn't it? It's just like, oh my God, I forgot I had that little tag or that. Yeah.
You can go, shit, that was funny as fuck.
I know. You've been doing a routine and you thought, I've not been adding that bit in. I forgot all about that bit. Why have I not? Yeah.
Even somebody that's seen you before, why do you not do that bit again? That bit you used to do. You go, oh, because I forgot all about it.
I know. Yeah. Or they say, here's a bit you could add. And it's always pesh. It's like, no, that kind of takes away from the other joke. Other comedians usually give, if it's another comedian, usually they've got a nice wee idea. But if it's a punter, usually it's like something like, oh, that's pish. And that's somebody else's.
And they'll tell you, like, here's a bit you could add. And then they tell you a bit that was one of Billy Connolly's jokes or something. Or it's racist as fuck or something like that. So some drunk guy in the audience can go, here's one, pal. Here's one you can do. Like, I know it's a bit racist.
Do you not?
You'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Do you not find talking? This is maybe really misgigging. Just talking like this. It's like, see, when you know something so well, you've just done it for so many years. You don't quite realize how much you know about it.
To
somebody that doesn't know about it. you're an ex. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
It's you miss that.
Oh,
Love.
aye. Oh, it's great. It's great. But when was your last actual gig?
Physically on a stage.
Aye, with humans.
I think it must have been the 7th of March, or was
Aye.
it the 14th? No. I think I had one I cancelled, yeah, because I was scared to do it by then. So I think it was
Aye.
like the 7th or 8th of March. Round
Right.
about then. How about
So
you?
I was about the same. I think I done. It was either at the Glasgow Comedy Festival. I done a solo show, or it was one in Edinburgh somewhere.
Right.
Well, I done it was one of the two. I can't
It
remember.
was yours. I remember doing it and it felt edgy. Like I remember saying to someone in the audience, they coughed and went, "Oh, you've got coronavirus." And she
Aye.
looked at me and I went, "Are you scared of it?" She went, "Yes."
Aye,
And I was like,
weird.
"Oh my God, this is scary. Wow.
Aye,
This is
aye. Because it was like that, the Glasgow Comedy Festival one I done. It was a Thursday, just before everything stopped.
So
I
you
think
the 6th of March or something then?
something like that. It was before everything got shut down. So
Aye.
there wasn't many shows went ahead. So I done it on the Thursday, and then people were dropping like flies after that.
Aye.
I was like, holy shit.
I know,
I
it's
think I
mental.
actually get more of an audience because people had cancelled shows.
Right,
So
right, got you.
they came to mind just because there's something else on.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, it's
Madness.
weird.
And then
my dogs have just come in.
Oh, the dog's coming, brilliant.
Oh, one's got a big stick.
Get them up. And I've done one. I've done a couple of Zoom gigs, but I've not really been bothered my arse with that. I've done one gig in Edinburgh, the festival.
Good.
Right, it wasn't the festival, but the PBH guys, they put a night on, and what was the name of the bar again? I can't remember, but they put a night.
Skate one? No.
No, it was
Merkit.
No, nightclub. My brain's gone, but they done it in a nightclub, and we all done an hour. But they done it via.
Wow, that's a lot on Zoom.
I know,
Jesus.
but it was all right because there was other people in the room. So there was other comedians and there was the camera people kind of watching.
Oh, so you were physically with the other comedians that filmed for Zoom?
So it was filming for Zoom, but there was other people in the room, so you kind of had people.
Because July things were relaxed a little bit, weren't they? July, August, yeah.
Aye. So there was people to work with a wee bit, so you could kind of chat to them and stuff.
And were they laughing and stuff? And...
Aye. I paid
that's
them.
Good.
I paid them to laugh. So. Because you know what it's like. I've tried to do a set online when you've got no reaction. It's good,
interesting, isn't it? Aye. It's and the thing is, even just seeing Zoom's been good though, because you can see the smiles, or sometimes you hear them as well. It's all that. But I've had to do a couple that I record myself.
Aye.
And like I did this one gig, right, and I recorded it, and it was for the SNP Aberdeen independence movement, and they wanted me to do a set before the independence rally the next day or something. Right. And so I'd recorded it and I was really pleased with it. But it just shows you that you could have a great set, but depending where it is on the night, it's going to die.
Aye.
Because what they did was, it was supposed to start at 6. They had technical issues, started at 20 to 7. I wasn't on till 10:30. So people were watching this for like 4.5 hours. But they had MCs who closed the night by going, "Anyway, thank you, that's a great night. Oh, I'm so tired now. What a long night. We've still got 2 acts to go, but we're away. Bye." Then you saw the numbers going down 1:30, till eventually it was like 40.
Aye.
And then I went on, no introduction from anyone, and I could just see that there was hardly any comments at all. None, in fact.
Shit.
And then it just felt like it died on its hole, even though I knew it was actually, I was quite pleased with it because I could pre-record it. And then at the end of it, I ended on my Trump song, and the last song is "Donald Grab My Pussy."
Aye.
And the thing is, they'd had this big conference thing going on and all that with lovely speeches, and they obviously hadn't watched my set because they'd ended their whole night with me saying that and nobody saying "That's us good night." So it just looked
I know what you mean.
Embarrassing for me.
Aye. It's like
And-
that. You know, it's like a normal gig. If it's been a long night and you're on like 1:30 in the morning,
Aye,
it's
same
like,
thing.
doesn't matter how good you are. Nobody gives it. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. And
Aye.
it just felt horrible because I was watching myself die. I felt like I was watching myself die and I couldn't do anything about it because I'd done it. Because if it is one of these long nights, you change it, don't you? You change it up.
Oh, aye.
And
If you're doing it live,
you bring people in and
Yep.
and it just felt like, and also I wouldn't have ended with that. I would have done it in a different order. I would have, it was
Aye.
just,
Aye, that's the beauty of doing live gigs because you can read the room.
yeah.
So it's not,
Yeah.
it's not about just doing a set. You know yourself when you see a comedian doing like the same stuff, the exact same way for every gig. You know, it's going to get different reaction. You've got to change it a wee bit.
Aye. Yeah.
Your delivery, if it's a rowdy crowd, you get a wee bit rowdier. If it's a bit quieter, you kind of calm down a wee bit. So there's all the wee different things that go on.
Yeah, completely. And also, it all depends on, because I was on after this woman singing beautiful ballads that were really kind of soft and lovely. And then you've got me, you know what I mean? If I was on right after her, I would have changed it slightly. But you don't know where you are. So it's all that kind of stuff.
Oh, it's madness.
I know.
I done a gig years ago, right? I worked with the Co-op, right? Amazing job. That was shite. I hated it. and there was a warehouse in Cumbernauld, but they knew I'd done comedy. They got me in the Co-op.
Oh my God!
Right, they got me in the Co-op magazine, right, and all that. Some of them come through. Two of them came through at the Edinburgh Festival. I was the front page of the Co-op warehouse magazine. So
you've made it.
that was a highlight of my career, Viv. Right, so they kind of all the kind of down south managers. Oh, that's interesting. There's a guy that does comedy. Let's get him on.
No,
let's
to your
get him
work
on.
Colleagues. No way.
But no, it was a big conference down south.
Right. Okay.
I think it was in Manchester or something. So what they had like an awards thing going on. It was shite. So like this big, but they'd spent a lot of money. They had a big room, and it was like the best forklift driver, all that kind of shit, best manager, best warehouse. It was bollocks. So basically, plus it was free bevy, right? Right. So, and they weren't paying me.
Oh no, this isn't sounding good.
No, so they weren't paying me for anything. They just done it. They put me up in the hotel.
Even worse.
I know. I thought I'll go down for a laugh, and they were giving me up in the hotel and all that. And that was way my other work colleagues, and so they done all this free bevy dinner and all that. So I was getting a bit pissed. Right, I wasn't getting paid, so I wasn't like giving a shit. And then after they'd done this awards thing, it was 2 hours. They then had a band on, right? So everybody was sitting down. They had music on, so everybody's away at the bar. And then after the band, they went, "Now we'll get the comedian on." So people are all out dancing and going to the bar. And then there was this guy dressed as fucking James Bond, getting about with a gun, trying to get people together to come back and listen to me. And at the time I went on, I was pissed. It was just a disaster. So it was just, and if I was on at the start of the night or something, at the middle of the awards somewhere, it might have been all right, but it was just rubbish.
It's people that don't realise how comedy works. It isn't something that this is a funny thing you can put anywhere. It has to become funny with the situation, doesn't it? That's right for it. And it's that idea that I've done things like that as well, where they've just had a disco and they say, right, we've got the buffet, cleared the dance floor, and you're standing on a stage, empty dance floor, people around the edges, so there's nobody near you. They're wanting their dinner, they want to dance or whatever, and the last thing they want to do, or they want to chat. It just, I know, had a few like that. And they're always the better paid ones, usually.
That's kind of danger money, isn't it? You're paid,
totally.
Would you mind standing up there for 40 minutes and getting humiliated, and we'll give you some money? So what was your worst ever gig like that, Viv?
Well, weirdly, I've just been thinking about it. It was Stu Who years ago when I hadn't been doing gigs long, and it was Kilmore's Community Centre, and I had to do 25 minutes, and I'd never done more than. It's near on the way to Kilmarnock on the M77, right? And I'd never done longer than 15 minutes, say, right? And I'd do 25, which seemed a long time. And I was getting 100 quid, which was massive money, right? And my pal drove me, and it was exactly. And the thing is, I wasn't as much a comedian. I was more a funny poet with bits in between. So I wasn't as accomplished. And so I waited backstage. She bumped into people she knew, right? So she sat beside them. They'd just been dancing. And then the guy says, right, you can all sit down. We've got a wee lassie up now. I went up, died on my fucking hole. But because I was so new to it, I thought, I better do this 25 minutes. So I was totally, absolutely dragging it out. And I had this, one of my poems was called I've Got a Large Sack of Pants. I keep them in my attic. I've got the bikini briefs and kidney covers, every colour. You could say I'm a fanatic. And it had all these different, it was shit, right?
I love it.
And then I walked off, right, almost to the sound of my own footsteps, right? I got backstage, sat in what was like a gym hall changing room from an old school, right?
Oh, amazing.
The guy came backstage, right? My friend came, was hanging her head, didn't look in my eye. And he went, well, there's the full whack because you did your time, but I can just say that Kilmore's Community Centres is no ready for your sticky panties head. And then the worst bit was walking across the dance floor, sort of everyone still sitting there, looking at me as if they hated me. My pal ran up to say goodbye to her pals. Her pals looked at me, looked away, and she drove me back and never even mentioned anything about the gig. She started talking about college the next day. It was brilliant. Fucking, what a nightmare.
But see what I love about that, Viv, right? I think anybody that can go through that and keep going is amazing. You know, every comedian. No, it is. I
know what you mean, especially near the start.
Near the start, you have to be able to go out there and be totally humiliated, but then go, what did I learn there? Be all right with it.
The thing is, right, is the only thing I learned, well, I learned a lot of stuff actually, is I also learned is that how to talk to people after they've died in their hole, because
that's
there
horrible.
Could have been more empathy or something like, oh my God, that was hard for you, you're right, or do you know what I mean, or wow, but that just, actually one more if I could tell you as well.
Go for it,
And this wasn't that long ago, it was probably about 2 years ago.
Yeah, I heard about it. That's one thing, every time a comedian, somebody dies in their hole, you hear about it, don't you?
Exactly. Do you know the time I stormed and everyone loved me, we're standing on tables? No.
Nobody gives a shit.
Died in my hole? Aye.
Did you hear Viv died in their hole? That was brilliant. Right, it
was a friend of mine's wedding actually, and did I get asked or offer? I can't remember. But I sometimes write poems for people to get married. So I sort of ask them a lot of things about themselves and make it really personal. And it's do you know what I mean? It's obviously about them and how they met and different things and make it funny. And we went to the wedding, and there was quite a lot of actors there that I sort of knew off. So there were performers, do you know what I mean? People that could perform and stuff. And I thought it'd be during the wedding ceremony or just after it. And it wasn't. And then the night went on, and it was quite late in the night, and there was a brilliant Kaylee on, and I was like, when am I on? Shit. And we got chatting to sort of people as you do at weddings, and they seemed quite nice, and they were palling, and they were going, when are you going up? You're going to go do this and all that. And then I sort of says to the guy at the wedding, do you know when I'm getting up because I'm getting knackered kind of thing. And he says, oh, yes, I'll get you up. So he went on stage and says, I've got a friend of mine that wants to do a poem for us. And I thought, well, that kind of makes it sound like I want to get up. It made it sound like, let me up there, I want to do something. But it was a kind of mutual thing. Anyway, so everyone that just started enjoying this Kaylee that taken away at the start stopped, and I got up there and I did it. But the thing is, people were looking at he was so shocked at some of the things I said. But not insulted. It's just his reaction that people thought he wasn't enjoying it. So the rest of the audience started acting like, she's fucked up.
Was that your friend that was getting married you're talking about?
Like this, they were all going. So I totally died in my hole. People were looking at me. I had really personal things that, you know, they said about each other or the size of their boobs or different things like that. And I think people just thought I was really rude.
Right.
So I finished it, and then someone went up and went, anyway, let's get on with the Kaylee. So it felt like, and I walked back to people we've been talking about. They never spoke to me.
Aye.
And the people we've been sitting with, as if they were embarrassed. And we just sneaked away. And I must have taken a month to get over it. Because there were so many different actors there. There was people there. And I mean, it turned out he and his wife actually really liked it.
Aye.
But it didn't look like that to other people or me.
Aye.
And I just feel that I'd never do that again.
Aye.
It was the worst. It felt like I'd never get over it.
Oh, it's mental, isn't it? It's crazy.
I know.
Like, any more, Viv? You know, why is it with comedians, we get better stories? Like, I've asked you about when was the best gig you've ever had. It'd be boring. But if I say,
exactly.
Well, tell me about the nightmares, the ones that you were screaming at night and all that after it. The ones that gave you PTSD.
Oh, I remember one once where it was a Billy Bonkers gig, and he'd set up the CID came and broke it up and everything. No, it was Shakespeare Street Youth Club.
All right.
And people were eating hash and smoking mushrooms. It was a weird. So people were out their face.
Sounds like a Billy's gig.
Totally. And I usually don't have anything before I go on gig, but I did this time. I don't even know what I had, but I had something. And I went on stage, I thought I was amazing. But this guy got on stage and tried to push me off the stage because he hated me so much.
Shit.
And then the CID came to arrest people and we had to run out. So that was...
so you took some hash or something before you went on?
It could have been shrooms. It could have been... I don't know what it... Well, I would have known right enough the difference, but I certainly felt slightly fleeing.
Aye. That's not usually your thing either, Viv, is it?
I was in my 20s, do you know what I mean?
Well, you were young and daft, aye.
It was definitely my thing, but not before gigs.
Aye.
But this was one you just thought, I want to try out and see how I am when I've had something.
Aye.
But
aye. Because I think everybody thinks that getting drunk or getting kind of stoned, it makes you funny on stage, but it doesn't, does it?
No. It makes you think you're great, but the rest of the audience are thinking...
Aye. You have to be at least soberer than the audience.
Aye.
You know.
I think it's good not to rely on being drunk on stage, because then it becomes... You get a bit kind of superstitious, don't you? You feel, I've got to always be drunk or I won't be funny.
Because when I started, I remember after doing your course, I always... because I was nervous, when you start doing it, you're always a bit nervous before every gig.
Aye.
You know, it gradually gets down. You still get nervous now, I think, but you know, it gradually gets down. And I always had to have a few pints, and you know, and if I didn't, I'd thought, I've not had a pint, and I would down them. I would like really down.
Aye.
But I think it was a few years before I could go on stage without. I don't know. It was weird. I can do it now.
It's
no
funny
bother.
that, isn't it?
Aye. But I think it's part of the character or something.
I mean, drinking makes you worse. But if comedy drinking makes you better, or think it is, you're going to just think you have to. It's just...
Aye.
It's weird.
It's crazy. But then, I don't know, I don't drink at all before a gig now.
But I mean, there's some people that always have to wear the same socks, or they always have to have this, or they have to say a certain thing, or they have to wear a certain tune in their head.
Have you got any rituals you do? Have you got any kind of weird
No, I intentionally make sure I don't have any rituals, so I don't rely on it, if you know what I mean.
Aye. The only thing I do is I have to be... I can't really talk to anybody much before a gig.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I need to kind of get away, and because I've got one of my mates, used to come to the Edinburgh Festival, Gav. I don't know sure if you've met him, but Gav talks. It's one of these guys that just talks like you know, he kind of talks a lot.
That's annoying.
And he's a good mate and that. But before a few years ago, I was staying at his flat in Edinburgh during the festival, and I was walking towards the gig. Even an hour before it, I have to kind of start getting in the kind of right through my mind. He was talking.
Aye.
I was like, Gav, you need to shut up.
Oh man.
But he knows I was like, I'm trying to get myself in the kind of
See,
state.
that's hard as well, because you don't want to be. The people don't seem to get it. I
Aye.
find usually it's probably ex-students I've taught, and they're on as well, and they don't think about me being on. So there's
Aye.
a kind of talking away to me, and then afterwards I go, "How do you think I did?" And all that. I'm thinking, I'm just thinking about what I'm doing next.
Aye.
But,
If you're
and
MCing, you mean? Aye.
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 But also, I think I've lost the train of thought of what I was going to say.
Students,
can't
before you
mind.
before you go on.
Aye, it was at least I'm not on stage.
I know.
And that's what I was going to say. I find the more fun and the more laugh I have, say you're travelling to a gig in Aberdeen or something,
Aye.
the more of a laugh I have and the more fun I have before the gig, the shitter I am on stage.
Oh, you think so?
No, I know so.
Aye.
I find that, I don't know what it does to me, but it's like, and then you go on stage and it's like, whoa, this isn't the same kind of banter. This is different. I don't know what it is.
Aye, that's weird. So if you're driving up with other comedians and you're having a laugh in the car,
yeah, if it's far too much of a laugh, it
right.
just, I think it's a coincidence, but
you've associated it now.
Aye, a wee bit.
Aye.
No, I mean, if it was a shit time, I can't see it being that much better either. But if it's too much of a laugh, or maybe it's just exhausting because you're talking all the way, you're having a laugh.
Aye. I know what you mean, because it makes sense. There's loads of wee triggers going on, I think.
Aye.
So everybody's totally different. So I kind of before a gig, I need to be kind of pace a wee bit. So if I'm in a conversation with people, I need to go, right, I need to kind of go away. I need about 15 or 20 minutes.
Right.
And even if I'm in a gig, if I'm outside and people start chatting to me, I have to kind of walk away.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah.
I like chatting to people, but I'm kind of going.
I have to be sitting and have no cunt talking to me, and just. And I like to be watching it as well.
Aye.
I like to be watching what's on before me.
Oh, totally.
Aye, every single act before me you want to see, don't you? Just to.
Aye, and I want to watch the audience as well, depending on when I'm on. I need to work out who the kind of loudmouths are, who the kind of who you can have
and work out if it's a shite mic, if there's something wrong with it, or you have to hold it a certain way, if there's a dark spot on the stage, these kind of things.
Aye. So, do you do anything if you? I'll see if you feel a wee bit nervous before you go on stage. If you get anything you do there.
I kind of try and not think about what I'm going to say and just look forward to it. I kind of think, fuck it, stop it. This is fine. You enjoy it. You've just got to almost say to yourself, look, you've got a good set. It's fine. Just. Aye.
So I'm the same. I kind of because you do get sometimes before a gig you kind of go, shit, I feel a bit nervous tonight.
I know, but it fluctuates, doesn't it? If they ask you to go on at one point, you're fine. If they ask you like 30 seconds later, they get you at the nervous bit. It's like a undulation.
Because you ever do it when maybe the MC's on and you're about to go on and you can get yourself up for it. But then you think, I'm going on now, and then they start talking more. You're like, I was ready there.
That is so annoying, because you do work yourself up. Yeah.
Aye. So you're kind of going, right, this is a point, I'm going to be amazing. Then you go, but before I get them on, you're like, oh, fuck you fucking dick.
I know. It's so annoying. And it's usually it's either because they feel they've not got enough laughs.
Aye.
So they do it again, so they take away yours, or they're going so well, they suck it out of the room anyway. So you can't win. There needs to be that balance.
Aye. I think a good MC gets a good laugh, but they go, right, that's it, get them on.
Aye. But rather than, I'm going to get all the laughs now.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye. It's definitely a part of MCing. You kind you can't be too selfish. If you're in a good form, you can't give, right, it's not all about me. You got to,
it always makes me think of I was an athlete, right? Like all my school years, right? And I was more of a middle distance runner, but they would get me to run in the relay just to make up the numbers, right? But I wasn't I could sprint, but I wasn't the fastest.
Right.
But for some reason, when I did the relay, my 100-meter time was faster than when I just did 100 meters.
Really?
Because I was so aware of people relying on me to help the team.
Aye.
that I ran, and I feel it's a bit the same with the MC. You've got to treat it like everything's not about you, it's about the whole
Aye.
team. I've got to have it set up so it's
Aye.
good for them. If somebody stormed just before them, I've got to kind of bring it down a wee bit so they don't have to try and compete with
Aye.
that. Or if they've dyed their hole, you've got to bring it up.
Aye.
You've just got to
Keep it
Yeah.
rolling a bit.
make it with the whole night.
Aye. Because sometimes if you're on good form, you kind of want to go, I could quite easily do 20 here, but then you know the headliner's going to be running late and it's going to be, they'll be tired by that time.
Yes,
So you got to, because I've seen, you've probably seen it yourself over the years, MCs that do that and they run too long.
Oh,
And it's,
God.
come on, And
Aye.
people love them, and then the acts look bad just because they've been.
Oh, totally. I hate that. I hate that.
Aye.
And also, you see it with. In fact, I was doing a gig on Zoom last week, actually.
Aye.
And the guy on before me went, all right, I won't finish on that. I was going to finish on I can't finish on that. I'll finish on this, then I'll finish on this. And you're thinking, you're now eating into my time.
Aye.
And it's the thing that's, they actually got a laugh, but they think, I didn't get as big a laugh as usual. I need to get a bigger laugh. But it's just selfish because you're eating into my laughs.
Aye, that's true. Aye. Bastards.
I hate that. Aye, bastards.
Cunts. Who is it? Let's get them. Aye, this is good. This has been good, isn't it? See, I think this is better than doing a Zoom gig. Because you're chatting to. I'm trying to do that with my finger there. You're chatting to somebody.
I know.
I do that. So I just got a wee camera the other day as well. So this laptop's a bit shite. So I had to buy a wee camera.
Right. Oh, it does well then.
Aye, it's all right. It's all right. So what have you been up to, Viv, for the lockdown? What have you been doing?
God, I don't know about you, but I've had moments of like people have said, "Oh, have you been creative? Have you been doing stuff?" But a lot of the time, I've not felt like it. You feel a bit like, "What am I going to write about that I've been through that nobody else has been through?"
Aye.
Nope. Why? But then I've had moments like there was a few different writing competitions that I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to go in for that. I mean, I never got anywhere, but I was pleased with what I wrote. Do you know what I mean?
What kind of stuff was that then? Was that like?
So one was for a sitcom one that I'm going to try and put in for something else. Right. And then another one was, we were looking for writer performers. So I did a wee video thing, but it didn't get picked. But you know that way you write it or you put it in and you think, this is going to win. This is great. And then you're just a bit disappointed, but I'm glad I did it. I seen
a wee video you did a few months ago.
That was the one. Aye.
That was great.
Oh, thank you.
No, I loved it. It was great.
That's the reason I put it out. I thought, I feel ashamed that I've done this and I've not done something with it. Because usually I wouldn't actually put anything about that out.
Aye.
But I just thought,
That was good.
It's quite nice to do something that shows your acting, not just your stand-up.
Aye.
Innit?
Aye.
How about you?
I've not done loads. I've done some stuff on TikTok. I mean, I want to do more because I want to build an audience. I want to do more solo stuff because I love doing the Edinburgh Festival and I love just the run of doing. And I think with doing solo stuff, you get more freedom to like do an hour or more, and you can mess about.
Yeah.
And I love doing like 20-minute sets and stuff, but I feel there's like you're restrained a wee bit. I know it's good. I love doing it, but doing solo stuff, you're more. Well, for me anyway, I feel more freedom to kind of do what I want.
Because the whole room becomes part of your vibe, don't they?
Aye.
And they it's your world that you've created. Yeah.
Aye. So I
know what you mean.
I find that like doing doing club sets, that's good, but you're kind of you're aware of the kind of promoters and stuff watching you. You kind of go, right, I can't take chances and say crazy shit that you can do when you're doing a solo stuff.
But then your crazy stuff would actually probably go really well, and that's probably what you should do.
Aye,
isn't it? It's
aye. Because I remember like years ago, I won't mention the promoter or anything like that. It was a gig down the Merchant City somewhere.
Right.
I remember, and it was a late night gig, not one of these late night gigs, and there's loads of gigs on, everybody's a bit pissed and stuff. And the gig was a shambles. Right? The audience was just drunk, nobody was listening. And I kind of went on. Like, I was still fairly new, I think. But I went on and the way on, I grabbed a woman's coat and the way on it was like a fur coat, I think. I I don't know if it was a real one. Right, well, kid on it was a kid on man anyway, right? So I just grabbed this coat, and behind the stage there was a toilet. So I went into the toilet, and I just took my top off and put this fur coat on over it. So I was like topless, and I just came out and stood up on the table, and I kind of flashed, and I just became a character, and it was a bit mental, but people were loving it.
That sounds great.
And the promoter came in, and they came up at the back, they went, "What the fuck is Obie doing?" At the time. And then one of the other acts went, "He's saving the gig," but if that makes sense. But then a lot of promoters, they wouldn't take a chance on somebody like that. Somebody that would just kind of go, "Fuck it." So I think like you were about when like you'd kind of experienced guys like Phil Kay and stuff like that.
Oh, aye,
back in the
brilliant.
day, it would like he could either die in his hole or. Did you know Phil quite well then back in the day?
I still know Phil actually, yes, and I mean I never knew him well, but I knew him enough to hang out or see him or whatever. But yeah, he was and still is something else. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes, yeah, you saw him die in his hole, but the best comedian, in fact, it's Lee Mack that says to me, he says, the best comedians are the ones that take risks. They're either going to absolutely storm or die, no in between. And I've always thought,
I love that.
But it's hard for promoters because they're going to think, well, what's going to happen? But Phil, more often than not, he was going to storm it and take it over. But you just thought, what's he going to do? I remember seeing him at the, is it the Hive? During the Free Fest, he came back to do a show. Did you see that one?
I'd seen him doing. I watched him once. He was playing the guitar.
Yes, and he talked about picking out his son's jobby from the toilet.
I think that rings a bell.
And he goes, and it was really light. And it just and honestly, I had a sore belly. I bent over, and I was on my own just watching it in a big, really busy room. You know that way that usually when you're on your own, you maybe don't laugh as much because you're with your pal. I was fucking crying. It was the funniest thing ever.
It's phenomenal.
Oh, I love to. I mean, I just love. I mean, you do a bit of that sometimes, don't you? Where you just improvise and do stuff and all that.
That's how I love doing the Edinburgh Festival, because if I'm doing an hour, I can do that. Whereas you're doing like a part of another show, you're kind of restricted a wee bit.
I mean, I can understand because as formerly having promoted gigs or booked acts for gigs, you do think to yourself, is this person hit or miss, or they'll always go down? And you, I mean, yourself, you always did a cracker gig at Yes Bar. That room, wasn't it? It was great for that kind brilliant. Of just, you're in my planet, come with me. I loved that about it. Yeah.
What about, did you ever, because you were about a wee bit long, when did you start doing comedy, Viv? When was your kind of...
I'd say I was in So You Think You're Funny Friday in 93.
That's right, aye.
But that was as a poet, and I wasn't really doing stand-up. And I sort of 94, I kind of started a few gigs. So yeah, 94.
Aye, amazing. I was 98 or 99, I think. So I was going to ask you, was Johnny Vegas about back then when you were in Glasgow?
Yes, Johnny Vegas.
He's another one. He's a maverick. I love that his kind of...
Isn't he? Oh. And a lovely, lovely person as well. Such a nice guy. And because I remember I'd done a few poetry gigs and things that were funny poems. And I hadn't been well, actually. And I got phoned about this gig called Cal's Cod Supper, which was in Barmuir. And there was a guy called Cal Tanner. And I think he was a Geordie guy or something. Anyway, he asked me to come and do a gig, and it was going to be for 30 quid. And I had been like in bed for fucking months. But my flatmates helped me, and they took me in a chair and stuff like that. And I sat down and did it. And I don't know if Johnny Vegas was at that one, but I ended up getting a lot of gigs through that because Vladimir McTavish was there, Ford Kiernan was there, Billy Bonkers was there. There was loads of people running gigs that I got gigs from.
That's right.
But this guy, Cal Tanner, that MC'd, he ended up being Johnny Vegas's manager.
Really?
Just before Johnny made it or anything. Michael, his name was. And but he still did the same thing about the pottery and all that. And so that was then. I didn't know if he was living in Glasgow though. I thought he just happened to be coming up.
Because I've heard that. I never met him or anything, because I think it was like people used to talk about like Johnny
He was
Vegas
up a lot.
being about
Yeah.
in Glasgow. And
Yeah.
he said he used to do a thing where he would like get people to throw money at him and stuff like that.
Oh, right. I don't
So-
remember that.
So
but
he
it
would
makes
he would go on
sense.
stage and he would sing or something. That people
That's
had to
right.
hit him with money.
Yeah.
So he'd make a fortune, but people were bouncing off his head and all that kind of stuff. Just crazy shit.
Yeah.
And
The
that's
thing is, he seems absolutely no different. Even his act. I don't mean
Aye.
he's not changed his material. I just mean he was already that funny guy, and
Aye.
he's just gone with it. And
Aye.
he was ready made almost. It was just
Aye.
brilliant.
But I read his book a few years ago, and he said that before he became, like, it was called Becoming Johnny Vegas.
Oh,
So it was like,
right, okay.
It was very quiet, right? When he started doing stand up, he was very shy. And he said the first couple of times he went to do a gig, he bottled it. So he went to an open mic, I don't know if it was London or something, and he was sitting back watching these guys, and he thought, he was thinking, they're all shite, but he bottled it. But then one night he got pissed, and then he went on the stage pissed, and he was amazing. So he was one guy that done it drunk for a while, wasn't he?
Aye, shit, yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
They says Johnny Vegas became the alcoholic that kind of took over. It was like a split personality type thing.
Right, right.
Oh, it was amazing. It was an audio book I listened to. It was good.
Oh, that sounds good. I must read that.
It's just, if you've got Audible, it's just called Becoming Johnny Vegas.
Right, I'll have a look.
So
that'll be good.
Like his Catholic upbringing. He's quite a strict upbringing. So just
Yeah.
going for that to. So he went to a Catholic boys' school and all that kind of shit.
Oh, did he?
Aye. So it talks about all that, and then becoming this mad JK
Wow,
character.
that's mental.
Aye.
I remember he had sort of like a long brownish leather jacket.
Aye, he's always had one of them,
Sort
isn't he?
Aye. But yeah,
Aye.
bloody hell.
I watched them doing there's a video, a DVD I've got called I've Got Ice Cream that he done.
Right.
And it's basically the whole kind of thing is like he gets kidnapped. Right. So the idea is he's on stage somewhere dying in his hole. And the reason he's dying in his hole is because he get famous and he's not get the kind of, it's like, no, like Rocky when he got big and they take him back to the kind of the ghetto. They go, look at their eyes, Rock. They can look at their eyes, they see the hunger. So they kidnap him, he's famous, and he's got this big crowd dying in his hole. And these guys come on and kidnap him and take him to the Edinburgh Festival to do shitty gigs. And so there's a part of story, but you see him doing live gigs like in the stand and stuff like that. And the story's a good laugh as well, but watching his stand-up when he just does things, it just goes mental.
Oh, that's amazing.
You know, and it just gets people on stage, starts chatting to them and just going nuts. It's brilliant.
I love that. Yeah. Some people are they've got funny bones, haven't they? They're just.
Aye.
And I think that must be quite hard as well when you're out about in public and stuff like that, where people probably bother you all the time and want that character that you don't really get a rest or.
Aye, because you can't take your stand-up character off stage really. Or like, do you think you're the same? Like on stage or somebody different?
No, I'm different. I'm still me, but I'm the kind of superhero version when I'm doing a good gig. The one that got the answers, the one that's funny or bit ditzy or something. I don't know, but it's like a Titan version, isn't it?
Aye.
What about you? Are you the same?
Aye, because I feel that like sometimes if I'm on stage, like I'm just this big, like it's for me, but like the volume turned up, the energy turned up, and I can come on stage and do this big, become this kind of nutter or whatever. But then when I come off stage, it goes away. So people come over and talk to me and expect the same, and I've got, no, I'm just normal me now, and it's kind of going. It's a wee bit mad, isn't it?
It is. I find if I've been doing a lot of MCing, I talk to people different in the street that I meet. I forget. I'm still slightly like, primary teachers sometimes speak to you and forget you're not a primary kid. It's that kind of like you're talking to them, they're going, "Oh, I'm waiting for the bus." Do you know what I mean? And you know, it's just. I don't even have a funny answer actually, but they'll say something and you're like, in fact, like I saw this man the other day, and I hadn't even been emceeing actually, and I was with my dogs, and there was like this massive pile of leaves, and his dog was behind it, and I says, "Oh, is this an ambush, or is it just a bush?" It was just, do you know what I mean? And the guy went, "Ooh," and you just thought, "Oh my god, I'm on! It's that kind of yeah." Burning bush.
You find you do that sometimes, and you think this is amazing, and then they just look at you, and go, "What's your problem?" Because they're not in the environment. Tough audience.
Or the other way around, the worst thing is when people know you're a comedian and go, "You're not very funny yet. I couldn't imagine you being a comedian." Or yeah, really? I tell us a joke then. You're like, just fuck off.
I know. I had I remember like a few years ago, I was like, people started kind of knowing I do stand up, and I went to my local kebab shop, and I just went in. This guy's like, "Oh, Obie, how you doing? You do comedy?" I went, "How's it going?" I went, "It's going all right." And he says, just kind of as if he's expecting something amazing, hilarious coming out. And I went, "What have you been up to? What have you been up to today?" I went, I was watching the snooker earlier on the day. I was watching the snooker, and then I was doing it at my dad's for my dinner. And they kind of looked at me going, "You're a shite comedian. I'm never coming to one of your shows." I thought,
that is so true.
What do you want from me? Do you want a routine?
Do you know, it reminds me of, I once lived quite near the BBC, right? And the old BBC, I was sort of renting a flat opposite it so you could see BBC, and I was walking around with my mum.
And
we saw this guy walked past us and into the reception of the BBC. My mum turned to me and looked at me and she went, "Well, I didn't ken him."
Just some guy.
She just thought, what's he going to the BBC for if he's not famous? You know, it was that kind of thing where you think everyone's. I just thought that's just that.
He's an electrician. Just be some guy in to fill up the vending machine or something like that.
It's that kind of thing, isn't it? I can meet people walking the dogs, and then near where I live, you know, neighbours and that, and then maybe one person knows I'm a comedian or seen me, and then the others hear about it and they go, "Oh, so you're a bit of a comedian," and then they start doing all the jokes as if they think you're shit. I don't know if that's a women thing or if it's all comedians as well.
No, we all get it. Aye.
And but there's that kind of.
Here's one you can use.
But it's not even that. It's a kind of like, so you do comedy and you get a lot of laughs and that, and what kind of things you do? Like, you just know they're thinking, "You don't seem funny. I can't imagine you being a comedian. You're going to be shit. I can't come and watch you because you'll be shit." Yeah.
Aye.
But if you were like on all the time going funny, people would hate you.
Aye.
People would think, "Shut the fuck up."
Aye. Because you get people like that.
I'm telling you, my husband's dead. Don't make a joke about it.
Sorry about that. What happened to Seth?
I hate even saying that loud. It's horrible. Sorry, Seth.
Is he there? Is he there? Aye. Tell him I said hello.
Hello. How have you been yapping? I'm getting fuck. Has that been?
It's been a while, Viv.
I know.
It's been about an hour, so that's been good. So
that's not bad.
It's good because it goes in quick doing this, because I've done it.
It does. Well, hopefully for the people listening, but maybe just for us.
Aye. I know. I'm just doing it because I'm lonely, Viv. I've got nobody to talk to, so. so.
Oh, you're on your own, are you? You not got any company?
Just me, nobody. Just my
How's it been?
Brilliant. My imaginary pals here, so the voice is in my head and that.
It looks like you're actually using a smoke detector as a mic.
That's what it does, doesn't it? There you go. Because I'm on fire, Viv. It looks better that side, doesn't it?
Oh no, that looks like R2D2 now, or Wally, yeah.
Or who? Wally. All right. Well, one of his legs fell off. He's got 3 legs.
Oh, what a shame.
One of them fell off.
That's pretty cool, that though.
That's all right. It's good. It's good because it sits. If you're talking to a few people, it sits in the middle. That kind of picks up.
Aye. Oh, that's really cool.
Aye. So it's good. So what else you been up to, Viv, during the lockdown? You've been writing your sitcom stuff.
I've been. I have made some banana bread like everybody's done.
Right, I've never done it.
I hate it. I don't even like it. It's just
you just have a piece of banana.
Exactly. Have a piece of banana, which is the best thing you can ever have.
I've not
See, a piece of banana dipped in chicken soup. Oh
No way.
my God, creamy chicken soup, banana roll, dip it in. Oh, heaven.
I've never tried it. I might.
Oh.
I like banana and peanut butter's good.
Oh, I hate peanut butter.
Oh no.
But a lot of people like that, don't they?
Aye.
What else have I been doing? You know that way that have you still working then?
Aye, I'm doing a job with like Just Eat and Uber Eats, so it's delivering food, and it's good. It's flexible. So I was kind
Are
of.
people treating you better now than they would have before lockdown?
But as in customers and stuff.
Because you're a hero, because you're bringing their dinner, because you're out there.
People are all right, and they just kind of they're quite happy to see me because they're getting food.
Aye, of course.
So and you get a lot of stoners. So sometimes you go to a door and there's a big waft of hash comes out the door, and
aye,
these people get a KFC.
And you're thinking, no wonder you phoned me.
Aye. No, it's a good wee job, and I'd rather be doing gigs, but it's flexible. I can work whenever I want.
Aye, oh, that's good.
So it's just a wee app. It's just like it's a wee app, and I kind of So after this, I'll maybe go out and work for a few hours. So I just turn it on and go.
Are you cycling? No,
it's driving. Aye. So I'll go. I'll switch it on, and I get shifts as well. But I can, if I don't want to work, I can just no bother.
Right. Okay, that's handy.
Because a time last year I was out drinking in Edinburgh with somebody, right? And I was out till like 3 a.m, and I was meant to be starting work at 10 the next day. But there was no way I was going to be sober enough to drive or competent enough. So the way home, when you have a shitty job, you have to phone up your manager and pretend you're ill.
Aye.
And you need to get up in the morning when you're hungover. You don't want to go, I'm no well. With this, all I did was I went on to the app and just went to my shift and pressed an X button and deleted it. That was it. That was it gone. And
that is too handy. Aye.
I just remember being on the late night megabus going, fuck work. I'll get done for drunk. I better I can't delete it. I just sitting there giggling at myself.
So it's not just eat, it's just delete.
I just delete, hey. That's good. It's good, man. It's awesome. It's good.
Oh, that's handy. I mean, I've done wee bits of teaching at the start, a bit of like Zoom ones and all that, and that was quite good.
So
I did some
one-to-ones and stuff, Viv?
Both. I did some one-to-ones, and I also did like a couple of group ones, like with young carers and with like poetry ones with kids as well and stuff like that. And
so how was that? How was it doing it by Zoom? How did you find that?
You know, I actually quite enjoyed it because people were kind of more relaxed because they were in their own houses, weirdly, and they still bonded with people they didn't know.
Aye,
it worked. I think we quickly became intimate almost. Like there was a quick. There wasn't, because you didn't have to worry about anything about. Oh my God, have I found the right place? Do I smell? Do I mean? Do my clothes look minging? Do I feel shite? You just kind of.
I've not washed for 3 days, but I don't care. I'm on Zoom.
I had a shower today for the first time in fucking ages because I was going to be on this, and then in the end of the day, I just put a hat on anyway.
Aye. I put a shirt on, Viv. Look, I put a shirt on, and
I know it looks good.
And I
even de-used. I used one of these rollers, but you can't even see it. But
aye.
In fact, I probably need the light on.
Is your dogs there, Viv? Can you get your dogs on just before?
Oh, where are the ducks? Are they sleeping? Oh, there's some light. Oh, they're fast asleep. I'll just.
Is that your cameraman? Your cameraman putting the lights on?
Oh, look at that.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Better. Yeah.
Aye.
The dogs are. You could bring one. Maybe.
Bring a dog in. That's all.
Bring a dog.
If you bring a dog in, that'll increase the viewing figures to 17.
I did that in the gig I told you for the Independence one.
Aye.
I think it's about 25 minutes I had to do or something. But for I sort of cut away bits because some bits I didn't know well. So I thought I need to look over it. So we just did a cutaway to a dog.
Aye.
And then cut back to me. Here's one. Hello, Frankie.
Was that Frankie? Hello, Seth.
Darling.
How you doing, Seth?
Oh, here he is.
I seen
Seth. Baby boy.
I seen Seth's elbow there.
Mwah. Oh, yeah. Frankie's the shy one.
Aye. What's the other one called?
Oh, he's so sleepy. Ollie.
Ollie, that's right. I met him once a few years
He'll
ago.
be more annoyed if you kind of wake him. Do you know what I mean?
Aye,
But
fair
Frankie, are you actually comfy like that? You can't be comfy.
enough.
You comfy?
What's it-
Oh.
He's not talking to me. Frankie, does he not do Zoom?
Frankie, don't you do Zoom? Are you going to have a look at? Oh, he's a good boy.
Doesn't give a shit. Hello, Frankie. All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
There he is. Oh, he's settled. Oh, he's sleeping
They
right
bother.
beside
They
me.
bother. Oh no, that's about an hour we've done, Viv. So I think that's cool.
That's no bad, is it?
Aye, I think that was fun. So we smoked it about some dodgy gigs and all that. That's
I know.
what we
I
always
really
talk about.
enjoyed that.
We never spoke about any amazing gigs because that's boring, isn't it?
Aye, who gives a fuck?
Who gives a
Hey.
fuck? The thing is, they're all amazing apart from the two bad ones.
I teach that exactly. I teach that when I'm teaching comedy that
Aye.
people don't want to hear about your brilliant life. They don't want to hear how good you are at stuff. Think
Aye.
about everything you're shit at, everything shit that's happened to you. People love to hear how shit you are.
Yeah.
And that's actually makes you feel better.
Aye, it's,
Weirdly.
Aye, no, it does. Have you ever had like a comedian, if it's seen them on stage and they start boasting about their life?
Oh,
And you kind of go, you could have gone, I was doing this gig in like Vegas last week and I don't give a shit, mate. Tell us about your shitty life.
I say that. I say, even if some brilliant news, you've won the lottery, you've just become a dad.
Aye.
I don't want to hear this unless there's a punchline at the end.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
There has to be a punchline or a reason.
Aye.
Or there's no point.
I know.
Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I've just had a child. Everybody's going, well, I've won the lottery. Boo, get off your shit.
Do you know, there was one girl in my class one of the times who was a model, right? And she was obviously a model, beautiful, long legs, do you know what I mean? Lovely face, all that.
Aye.
And but what was brilliant about her is she talked about modeling and she talked about falling on the catwalk or stuff like that and all this. But I just admired her because, first of all, people were going to hate her right away, especially women.
Aye.
And guys were going to fancy her, so she wasn't going to get laughs. But she just managed to be gorgeous. And then actually people were thinking, fucking hell, you are a shit model. Oh my God, that's funny. And I just think that's a skill.
Aye.
That no matter what you look, it's actually it doesn't do you any favours if you look good. You have to kind of, I mean, sort of still have people that aren't jealous of you that just find you funny.
I hate comedians that are good looking and hilarious. That annoys me. I hate them. Look at
cunts.
Look at you handsome bastard.
You shouldn't need to be funny if you're that good looking. Why do you need to be funny? I know.
Why are you doing comedy, you fucking you sexy bastard? Bastards. I think we'll finish up, Viv, because I think that's just over an hour. But
I know, that was really enjoyable.
It was good. It's good talking to you. Bob, have you got any plans when things start up again, or just go with the flow?
Just go with the flow.
Aye.
How about you? I mean, yeah. Are you the same?
I got a plan that I want to figure out. I want to do the fuck it list thing. But I want to do more with that though. It's been kind of hanging about for ages, and I've been kind of hanging about doing the same shit. But I want to do things out my so I want to actually plan next year to walk from Land's End to John O'Groats if I can. But I need a lot of planning. But do gigs on the way.
That's a brilliant idea.
Do that. And on the way, can I build up my social media, talk about it on the way, and try and do challenges on the way.
Don't tell too many people about that, Obie, because people will nick it. Get it sorted. Don't tell people till you're actually about to do it and you need publicity, because people are bastards.
You're going to say cunts here, Viv. You can't say.
I'd said cunts already, so I'll say a different word. But that'd be amazing.
Because I want to do it and then build up my social media as I'm doing it. But I want to kind of try and plan it for May, because hopefully by then, things will be all right. Hopefully the vaccine.
I think that's an amazing idea, because what's his name? Dave Gorman did a tour called Stand Up, Sit Down, Pedal.
All right, what was that?
And he basically cycled to each venue. In all the places he played in the UK, and he did the Pavilion in Glasgow, and he did something like 2 hours 40 minutes. It was awesome, right? But
Aye.
he was cycling to Kilmarnock the next day, and then
Aye.
he was going to do a gig there. And he
Aye.
was cycling, but it wasn't. John goes to Land's End, and it wasn't walking.
Aye.
So,
Aye.
but it's a great idea.
I know, definitely way to do it. So I need to get my finger out now and start planning it and finding venues.
Yeah.
And,
So if people say, "How did the gigs go?" You say, "Oh, I walked it."
Hey. Amazing.
Walk in the park
Walk in
and the
park,
field and the.
Aye. I know that's what I want to do because I think doing things like that for me suits me more rather than chasing venues and stuff like that, which is fine as well. But you know, I think like guys like Dave Gorman had a bit of a project along with what he was doing. He did loads of stuff like that, and that's brilliant. So he built up his own kind of brand for that kind of thing, and I think that's
great. I think you should definitely do that.
I will. I'm on it. Right,
nice
Viv,
one.
I'll let you go. What are you doing the rest of the day, you and Seth?
You know, I'm going to hunt out Christmas films and watch them. I just love watching Christmas films. I watched. In fact, I watched Groundhog Day, which is not quite a Christmas film, but
I like Groundhog
Day. Classic.
It's brilliant.
That's just one of the best, isn't it? And then Karate Kid, and then what about you?
Okay, I'll probably go out and work for a few hours because just go out and make some money.
You've got it. Yeah.
So I'll do this and then I'll go out and work. I'm just I'm still recording, which is good. I'll just need to make sure I've got this.
You will ask you at the end how you want to. You know what you're doing.
Right, so how do I do it? Do I just gonna click the box button?
Click record again, and then it'll ask you what you want to do with it, where you want to save it, and it just says don't do anything while it's been saved.
All right, cool.
And it'll save it to your downloads folder, I think, or somewhere, and then you've got it.
Awesome. Right, I'll do that now, Viv. It's been
all right,
great.
Mister.
It's been great talking to you. Tell Seth I said hello and all that.
I will do, and have a good night, and have a good Christmas.
I will do you as well, Viv. Nice talking to you, pal.
Cheers, Obie. Right, bye.
Hopefully see you soon.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
I don't know how to turn it off now.
All right, I'll leave.
Right, see you later, Viv. Cheers, pal. Right, how do we do this?